Wrestling in the rain, we're wrestling in the rain. What a moist and wet feeling. Ah! Never, ever, ever have I ever related to Mandy Rose, but I guess there is a first time for everything. And I tell you what, in the face of adversity, WrestleMania 37 Night 1, it absolutely smashed it out the park in my opinion. I tell you what, I enjoyed every single match on that card last night for different reasons. You under-promise, you over-deliver. That's what WWE did last night. All the stuff at the start of the night with the rain and the thunder and everything, it just added to the occasion and the general spirit of, go on WWE, you can do it, man. I was getting emotional at the start, I tell you. It just feels like the world, it's slowly getting back to normal. But I tell you what, everybody, a pirate ship's there, and there's no Paul Burchill. Oh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh. But that crushing disappointment aside, I am Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are all the WTF moments from WrestleMania 37 Night 1. Alicious intro man, hit the intro. All the way back to the start of the Kickoff show we go though, and just before the Kickoff show started, I was on Twitter. I'm looking at the sails of the WrestleMania ship coming undone. I'm looking at chairs being toppled over. That's how strong the wind was. I was looking at people inside the arena being told to head inside and take cover. There was devastation going on. So for Kayla Braxton to come on the air and open the Kickoff show by saying, yeah, we know it's drizzling outside, it's raining a little bit. That couldn't be more Vince McMahon if it tried. God, I beat you at Backlash, and this is all you got? You come back now? I'm laughing at you, God. I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. And as we know, the old saying goes, you can take the WWE out the Thunderdome, but the Thunder, it'll shaft WWE right in the arse really hard. Hey, it's Johnny Cook, everyone! Get in there! Now I need to ask you all a question. Is JBL claiming that Ron Simmons being the first black recognised World Heavyweight Champion all the way back in 1983 not a WTF moment, or am I missing something here? And that's because I'll never ever forget the date that Ron Simmons defeated Vader to become the World Heavyweight Champion, because quite frankly, it was the day I was born. August the 2nd, 1992, I slid out me mother's womb, flew over the Atlantic Ocean, went front row and had a bloody good time. Go on, Ron. And the entire show here is your collective WTF moment for saying this is Cesaro's first ever singles match at a WrestleMania. Put some respect on Drew Gulak's name, that's all I'm asking everybody. Since when was the WrestleMania Kickoff show not a part of WrestleMania? It says WrestleMania in the title. And then we have Jerry Lawler, paid by WWE with actual money because he is a living professional wrestling legend. He can give insight and opinions us bog standard fans we couldn't possibly give because we've never done the wrestling. He's paid the big bucks for all of the hottest takes. Jerry appeared on the WrestleMania 37 Kickoff show to say that Cesaro has been a massive star in WWE for some time, but fans are just getting into him now. And I don't know about you at home, but I think I was honestly wearing nappies and sucking me thumb still when the Cesaro section became a thing in the crowds in the WWE. Honestly, it's a horrible kink to try and shake when you're a grown man. But surely there, Jerry needs to replace the fans just getting into Cesaro with WWE just getting into Cesaro right now. Because the fact that last night was Cesaro's first singles match on the main WrestleMania card, that is a crime. Tea time. And now we have Booker T claiming that Cesaro won tag team gold in WWE with all of his tag team partners. And quite frankly, Booker T, he didn't. Not with Jack Swagger. I said he didn't, Jack. Not with you. And then we have Cultaholic signs making their way back into an arena for a WWE show, and quite frankly, I love to see it. Thank you to that random assailant there who was seen during the Kickoff show, and also a big thanks to Matt Parker and his son for spreading the good name of Cultaholic throughout the WWE universe. Next time you go to a show, do what they did. Give him the green light, or don't give him anything, but Jinder Mahal, he's always ready to go. You've just got to love Jinder, haven't you? He's in his full gear, even though he's not on the show. What a professional. Now, I know that Florida, it is a humid place. I've been there. It was humid. I know that last night, just before WrestleMania 37 took to the air, and I think during large portions of the show itself, there was rain in the air, which Shane McMahon could have been standing in. I hope he was. Because if he wasn't, how the hell is he that sweaty already right at the start of the show? Colonel McSweaty Bollocks by name, Sweaty Bollocks by nature. But outside of Shane, we have a more generalised WTF moment here because, of course, in the first 40 to 45 minutes of last night's WrestleMania, WWE, because of the weather, was forced to think on their feet. And thought on their feet they did wonderfully. I thought, as we saw lots of backstage promos and all sorts of stuff going on, which proved a huge WTF moment, that the WWE roster in this WWE universe of scripted promos are very talented professional wrestlers who can just speak words all by themselves with no sheet of paper in front of them. So basically, what we learned last night is something we already know. These scripted word for word for word for word for word promos are completely unnecessary. Get them in the bin. And then we have Kofi Kingston still going on about tag teams in WWE needing to be registered so they can challenge for WWE tag team titles, as if that's ever been a thing. It's never been a thing, Kofi, stop. Although, as we all know, the New Day are unicorn fetishists. So maybe, just maybe, they only deal in things they think are real, but actually are not. But I must ask you, Kofi, Xavier, where'd you get your Barnet done? I need to sort this one out, and I would like to do that, please. Well, guys, I guess we could call it WrestleMania, because it's raining, guys. I just don't know whether to laugh, or to cry, or to stick my two fingers into my ears. But I guess after hearing that awful, wonderful, wonderful bit of punnage from Maggle there, I guess we can safely call him Michael Colonoscopy, because that was poo. Flush me out, guys! And then Kevin Owens started and it made me think, by the way, another Max Headroom incident was going to happen. It was the same noise. I was terrified. So to steal something from Maggle Cole's playbook, I always thought the head poncho in WWE was Vince McMahon, but it turns out it's one of those people. Oh. To be honest with you, everybody, I love that image there. I love what those two lads were doing at the start of last night's WrestleMania Night 1. It's something we'll remember forevermore. As we all know, we've waited 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day for a crowd to be back at a WWE show, and the fact the start of the show got postponed for a full 45 minutes, just tantalizingly close, but we couldn't quite get there. It just added to the occasion for me. I loved what they did at the start of the show. It's a WTF moment, but in the best possible way. So let me get this straight, Terence. If Bobby Lashley could hook his arms under the wings of a massive 747 jet plane thing, he could crack the neck of an aeroplane? What the hell are you talking about, man? Planes don't have necks. It's the phalanges you want to be worried about, Terry. Who's checked the phalanges? To become a legend in this business, to become a Hall of Famer, guys, you must have held a WWE Championship, because that, guys, is the coolest belt of all the belt, guys, said Michael Cole on commentary last night. And I was thinking to myself, Maggle, you go and tell that to the British Bulldog, or Roddy Piper, or Jake the Snake, or Rick Rude, or lots of other people, you silly man. And then Maggle shouted, pound and ground, guys! Because we all know the pounding, it comes before the grounding. Look at Drew McIntyre there. He's stood up, isn't he? What is it with Maggle and commonly known things these days? Top dogs, guys, instead of dirty dogs. And now this. What's going on, Maggle? And then we saw the debut of a brand new professional wrestling maneuver during that Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley matchup. And that's when Daddy Drew McIntyre himself, as you can see right there, he hit a tope con bell end. That winky, it skimmed right off the top rope, and it was clear for all to see. What a visionary. Now, as some of you may know, this show is called WTF Moments. So after 1 year, 1 month, and 1 day away for the watching WWE Universe, who were there inside of the arena in the opening match of a WrestleMania card, which is mostly reserved for a crowd-popping, feel-good victory to put everyone in the bestest of best moves. We saw the valiant babyface challenger and would-be champion pass out. I just didn't see it coming, even if it did make Bobby Lashley look like a massive, big, bad beast. Kind of. Drew, what are you paying attention to MVP on the outside of the ring for? I thought you were better than that. By the way, I am certainly not complaining here. I fully hope with all of my heart we are now building to Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar with just all kinds of meat slapping off each other. But still, under all of the circumstances I outlined just there, it's a huge WTF moment. Is it? Is it just me? I don't know. Wrestling moves are hard. That much we know. But not even that sudden camera cut right there could save Lana. Poor Lana. Now, as we all know, over here in the UK, if somebody does a massive severe air shot, just like that one there in the football, all the football fans, we go, "Wahey, wanker." Therefore, Lana, "Wahey, wanker." Sorry. In the words of Destiny's Child, question. Why are they wearing their wrestling gear when they're wrestling tomorrow? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no, 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 no! I didn't know that tag team matchup was scheduled for 2 falls. Ultimo Dragon, Titus O'Neil, Goldberg at that random WrestleMania. Hang your heads in shame. You are all cowards. And that's because Mandy saved her big slip for the biggest and most anticipated WrestleMania in human history. She's got balls, has Mandy. And for the second year in a row, it would appear that Mandy has got the WrestleMania moment of an entire WrestleMania. Last year she got it when she necked on with Otis. I still find it so emotional. And this year, she did it when she fell over. But on a more serious note, flat bottoms wrestling shoes, plus rain, plus a slippery metal, presumably surface for that ramp at WrestleMania last night. It's not a good combination. It was going to happen to somebody, and it's a shame for Mandy, it had to be her. But I tell you what, her reaction to the entire thing has been fantastic on social media. Go on, Mandy, she's got a great sense of humour. Now, clearly we can see that Dana Brooke is the one being pinned there, but Greg Hamilton, the announcer, with the microphone in his hand, he's the one saying that the Riot Squad have been eliminated. And in this moment, I like to look at the bright side of life, because as we all know, my glass, it is half full of piss. And I reckon Greg Hamilton in this moment is just being a good, honest team player. Because to be quite frank, Lampard with you, when he dropped that massive bollock, you weren't thinking about Mandy, were you? You forgot about it, didn't you? Like Rikishi did it for The Rock, Greg, he did it for the Mandy. What a load of nonsense. And then with a tear in my eye, we get to my favourite WrestleMania moment of all time, beyond any shadow of any doubt. Natalya is going to lock in a sharpshooter, but she thinks, no, I'm a wrestling romantic. Let me call on my best pal in the entire world, Tamina, to hit a Superfly splash. I'm welling up just... Look, it's too much for me to handle this one. Let Tamina hit a Superfly splash and then win at WrestleMania. I said on the SmackDown WTF Moments on Saturday, right here on this YouTube channel, they've just shot an angle which is setting up Tamina and Natalya to win at WrestleMania 37. But of course, they never let Tamina win anything. So this has to be potentially the biggest WTF moment in WrestleMania history. Tamina won! I just can't believe it, man. She did it. I'm off. I'm doing it. She did it. She did it. She did it. She did it. She bloody won at WrestleMania, Drew. You raised me up so I could stand on mountains. You raised me up. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
One pair of pants later. 3,000 whoop-whoos later.
God, I can't believe she bloody did it. The bloody let her win. I hope she wins the tag team titles tomorrow. But as you can see up there, Seth Rollins skid marks at WrestleMania. Poo in the sky. I'm 28, man. And now I know what it's like to be a referee at an independent wrestling show when they're doing the 10 count and the oi, 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 lads, lads, lads in the crowd are counting different numbers and trying to distract the poor referee inside the ring. And that's simply because I was trying to count along with Cesaro's swings to try and find out actually how many swings Cesaro did. People inside Raymond James Stadium and even Michael Cole. Why can't you count? So after turning the sound off and replaying it this morning, I can can confirm that Cesaro did just about 19 swings, which isn't quite the 100 I was pitching in the pitches video for WrestleMania 37. But still, it was an amazing match, but people need to learn how to count rotations in professional wrestling, I tell you. And I tell you what, I'll be honest with you, it took me all the way through until the New Day's entrance for me to realise that WWE saw the rain and probably saw Mandy falling on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania before they put down a massive grey and absorbent carpet on that very slippy ramp. And at this moment, my heart, it goes out to Mandy Rose, because why didn't they do that as soon as they saw the rain come, hours before they actually did it? And I think the supposed tactical nous of the commentary team during that Raw Tag Team title match is a huge WTF moment. A huge one. And that's because New Day having to keep the big man out of the ring in just about every single scenario possible. That is sound reasoning, apart from this one. Why were they seeing this one when the person in the ring, while the big man was out the ring, is AJ Styles? I don't know if you've heard, everybody, but AJ Styles is quite good at the wrestling. Not the best, but he's quite good. I mean, as we all know, all tag teams in professional wrestling, they're made up of two components. One is the Shawn Michaels of the team, the other is the Marty Jannetty. And it's clear for all to see the Jannetty of the Styles and Omos combo is clearly AJ Styles. He's rubbish, isn't he, commentary team? He is rubbish. Am I the only one who thinks that is a WTF moment? We get it, WWE. He's tall. When he puts his arm out like that, it's going to be higher than when I put my arm out, just like that, because his shoulder is higher than my shoulder. But why can't Omos do that? And then gimmick infringement, Kane had to let me know he did not like the sight of AJ Styles on the shoulders of Omos. And that's because of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, who originated the sitting on the shoulders thing in AEW, of course they did. And it's because I am the big red machine, Omos, and you're bigger than me, and I don't like that, Bonnie lad, I'll burn you alive. And I know that every single person in the WWE universe since the Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36 has been clamouring, has been begging for a new biker gimmick in WWE, but I'm sure that nobody saw it being that. Big baldy bastard Baron Corbin in Lycra. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm actually quite aroused. Danger, danger, danger. They're actually doing it, and I'm sure it'll be great, but still, danger. Who's the stupid one now, Shane? I know he's a professional wrestling heel, and that's the point of the story they were telling inside the steel cage match. Will you go away, please? But still, Shane, you had bare time to climb out there, pal. What are you doing? This is the Shane McMahon I remember and I love from my youth. He came back at WrestleMania 37. A massive return at WrestleMania. Down your drinks. I know I did. I did it so very hard. This is the Shane McMahon he should have been all along. He comes back. He bites off more than he can chew because, of course, he is a McMahon. And that's exactly what they all do because they are McMahons. He does big, stupid, death-defying, entertaining bollocks. He loses a match because he's Shane McMahon and he's not a full-time professional wrestler, and we all have a great time. All while Shane himself, he goes home, he sits in the bath, an empty bath by the way, it naturally fills up with the sweat and he bathes in his own sweat, knowing a good job. It has been done. The bump that ended that just really stupid and fun cage match, it was absolutely astonishing. That's the Shane McMahon he should have been all along. Why did the Shane McMahon of 2017, 2018 and 2019 and a bit of 2020 as well, why did that guy have to exist? Why did we have to go through that? Metal on sweat? Sweat on metal? How the hell is Colonel McSweaty Bollocks not slitting down that cage like a turd down a water slide? Physics just boggles my mind sometimes, you know. Now I know all of the bunnies and all of the bunnies' costumes falling apart, it's all very WTF moment worthy. But a bigger WTF moment is at play here, and I want you to sit down, sit back and ponder that a future WWE champion, a future IC champion, US champion, tag team champion, women's champion is in those bunny costumes. That's a sobering thought, isn't it? I should explain, shouldn't I? Normally, there's NXT people under those things at WrestleManias. Go back to that Undertaker entrance, or all little ghouls going like that. All NXT people. It just boggles the mind once again, doesn't it? Now, Gimmick Infringement Kane would like to make it clear that he knows that Bad Bunny used that there big massive truck in the music video for Soyon Le Campion Booker T. But Gimmick Infringement Kane would like to call Bad Bunny out for gimmick infringing on Becky Lynch from WrestleMania 36, So we all know what's coming, don't we, everybody? WrestleMania 38 next year. Bad Bunny versus Becky Lynch. Custody of a big, massive truck ladder match. And here's a WTF moment for you. Bad Bunny is a better professional wrestler than some professional wrestlers WWE hire today. Jackson Riker. Oh, sorry, bad cough there. And if that's not a WTF moment, I don't know what is. But I tell you what, between Bad Bunny and Pat McAfee and people like that, we have a new standard for celebrity matches in WWE. Be less like Tyson Fury, be more like Bad Bunny. But then again, Bad Bunny, Canadian Destroyer, 4 words that should not belong in the same sentence, unless that sentence is, Bad Bunny cannot hit a Canadian Destroyer, can he? But he did last night at WrestleMania. I tell you what, it was hair-raising stuff. Because rabbits. What a devastating way to find out you're going back to developmental. Just as you're entering the main event of WrestleMania 37 Night 1, you know the SmackDown Women's Championship is on the line. You turn around to do your sassy entrance, and oh my tits, NXT. Or maybe, just maybe, it's Kevin dun 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 being a massive silly Billy. Don't mind Bianca Belair there, everybody. She's just carrying another human being above her head while walking up several steps. I guess that's why she calls herself the strong guest. Slap on the arse, sassiness, women's champion now. And there I was thinking that Sasha Banks was a clever professional wrestler. Clearly not after that there last night. Sasha Banks got herself back in the ring of her own accord, even though she is now, as we're stood here, I don't think she is anymore. But at that point in time, she was a professional wrestling heel, which means, of course, that she is allowed to use champion's advantage in the midst of a championship match at a big show like WrestleMania 37. Why didn't she? Because she's got pride and she's noble. These bloody people with pride and nobleness. I tell you what, live your life with no pride and no self-respect whatsoever, and you'll have a better time for it. Oh. Bianca Belair, I fancy you in your wrestling prowess because you made that stupid Alberto Del Rio double knees in the corner thingy make sense. Just about every single time all of the wrestlers hold themselves up like that because for some reason they like being kneed right in the face. But Bianca Belair, when Sasha Banks went to go and do that to her, last night she dropped out the way, and I love you, Bianca. Not enough wrestlers do this. Why? And then somebody fired a gun inside Raymond James Stadium during that main event last night. Hang on, my phone's ringing. What is that? It wasn't a gun. It was just Bianca Belair's hair hitting the bare flesh of Sasha Banks. Slap my arse. Look at the state of the market left on Sasha Banks' side. It's absolutely gnarly that a hair whippage would do that. It's a wonder Willow Smith hasn't blinded herself yet. And a kick out, guys! A kick out by Sasha Banks when Bianca Belair scored the winning pinfall to capture the SmackDown Women's Championship, her first title in WWE in the main event of a WrestleMania pay-per-view. I don't know what to say. As we all know, a lot of announcers in the professional wrestling, they like to not know what the finishes are to certain matches. But maybe, just maybe, the main event of WrestleMania, maybe they should know what the finish is, because then you avoid utter bollocks like that last night. Did it ruin the moment? No, not at all. But I'm still stood here having to speak about it because the show is called WTF Moments, and that was a completely avoidable WTF moment, Maggle. But I think that was it from a really fun first night of WrestleMania 37. Thank you so much for watching. I have been Ross Twiddell from Cultaholic Wrestling, and I'll see you tomorrow for night 2s. See you then.